here on lap 169 of 250. Out in front, Jason Keller, followed by David Reutimann, Scott Wimmer, Mike Bliss, and Jamie McMurray.
And take a look at Mike Bliss on the outside, getting a big run on the outside on Scott Wimmer. And these guys are trying to get all they can on these restarts. 81 laps to go. I know it's a lot, but they're trying to get that track position.
You ain't kidding. Wimmer looking to the inside of David Reutimann.
That was the onboard view from Reutimann out the back, and there he holds on to the spot, and they pull back into line. The backstretch there in shadows now, and then they're going to get blasted by the sun right as they go into turn 3. But pretty soon the trees may shade that entire corner. Look at 4. It's totally in the shade.
Well, this track is changing big time now, guys. It's getting pretty cool here. The temperatures here at Memphis, which is to make the cars handle a lot different.
Well, these guys' last practice, Rusty, last night was in the same time. It was even darker than this.
We heard a little while ago Dario Franchitti coming across the radio and saying, look, my car's getting real tight. The handling's changing, and Randy, he's back in the pack now. Is that causing it?
Well, you know what? It's not helping at all, that's for sure.
Got a battle for the race lead. Here comes David Reutimann underneath Jason Keller, and he makes it look easy.
Cool paint job right there, isn't it?
So put Reutimann, as he has now led 113 laps, retakes the lead from Jason Keller, who had led only 7. And of course, if you remember and were with us yesterday, it was David not making the field in Atlanta for the Nextel Cup race. So he does have some burr under his bonnet, shall we say, as he wants to prove something here.
And Marty, David Reutimann said part of his negotiations of re-signing with Michael Waltrip is that he really wanted to run the Busch Series. He's learned a lot from it. He loves it. And you know, every time he gets into Michael's number 99 car here, guys, he just flies. He looks really good in that car.
That's right, Rusty. This race team has been together for 4 years. And you know yourself, anytime you can keep your team together for 4 years, golly, it's just a pleasure to work with, because the right hand knows what the left hand's doing.
Well, but here's one of the things that you find hard to believe. In that span, David's yet to win in the Busch Series. His best finish has been second. That came back at Nashville this April.
Absolutely.
So he's looking for his first win. And he has opened up a bit of a gap, about 3/4 of a second. Oh, and another crash. That's Mike Wallace sideways. Here comes another car around. It's Carl Edwars as he tries to avoid it again. Several other cars spin in this mess, and the yellow is out for the 8th time.
Calm down. All right, no talking right now. We're going to pit when the pits are open.
And nobody could see anything out there. There was so much smoke in the front straightaway. Carl just couldn't get slowed down. He spun. Vision was terrible.
Let's take another look.
Cale Gale gets in the back of Mike Wallace, spins him. See Brad Keselowski going around. And now it's just solid, blocking the track with smoke.
Franchitti made it through, and there is Carl. Carl, I think, just did an evasive move, just trying to keep from getting swept up. Managed to miss everybody. Mike Wallace is on board. Mike's wondering, what the heck happened? I don't know.
He lost rear grip because his tires are off the ground.
Yeah. Wants to know who it was. All right, on board with Cale. Mike's not going to like Cale.
Well, you know who's behind you.
Take one more look.
Well, guys, nobody's just giving anybody any room whatsoever today. No patience going on at all. And you saw the 9-car Chase Miller get in the back of Carl Edwars and spin him. Just a slight bump, and he doesn't have hardly damage. Carl does. You see the left rear quarter panel. Randy, that's not going to hurt the car.
Wait a minute. That's an oxymoron, dude. You realize? I mean, he's got so much damage from all the other wrecks. How could you tell?
Not from this one.
It's not going to hurt any more than what he's already been hurt. So
absolutely.
I think he'll be just fine now.
Oh, golly. On board with David Reutimann as he's trying to keep heat in the tires. Poor Carl, nothing to laugh at, really, for him. I mean, he is trying to put this championship to bed, and every time he tries to get back into it, something else happens right in front of him. The point differential right now is 531, and that's far short of the magic number.
Absolutely.
And that's because David Reutimann is doing everything he has to keep his championship hopes alive. And that's by running up front. Think about this. I mean, I'm not trying to jinx this thing, and Carl still has a huge lead, but it's got to start playing on you if you have 3 bad races in a row. And here comes Jason Keller as he's coming in, and also Jason Leffler. Shannon?
That's right. Jason Leffler and his crew chief back and forth. Should we come? Should we not? They decided to give up the track position for fresh tires. Jason says the car's a little tight. They're going to make a chassis adjustment. And
solid race for this Jason Keller team today. Running in second when they give up the track position a bit here. He said he needs help to be able to run harder off the corner. So a track bar adjustment, see the wrench in the rear corner of the window on the right side of the car, and a 4-tire change. Here's a team that's brand new this year and trying to settle their future out. Of course, Jason getting an opportunity with this team to break that Tommy Houston record, and now we'll see what kind of track position they've just given up.
Jason's first race, Lanier Speedway, April 1991. He has 10 career wins, and as Alan pointed out, broke the record for starts in the series. This is number 419. Let's check in with Vince Welch.
The big question has been whether the 99 has enough fuel to get to the end. Crew Chief Jerry Baxter has been pleading with David Reutimann during these yellows. Save me as much as you can during these yellows. This last yellow, he came through and told Reutimann, I think we're 3 laps to the good, but save the fuel as much as you can just in case, but I think we're all right. I'm not sure he had a lot of conviction in that statement to David Reutimann, but I think he was trying to convince the driver that they were going to make it to the end.
Maybe he was just trying to convince himself.
Absolutely.
All right, take a look at the fuel windows, and gives you an idea.
Marty, I can tell you one thing. These guys are going to make it on fuel. There's no problem right now. They've had enough caution flags to give them a little bit of margin right there, Randy. And the top 3 guys are pretty even on fuel right now. I don't believe it's going to be a problem whatsoever there. And these caution flags have really helped them out on that. Alan, what's going on with that 29 car?
Well, RW, there's one thing you have to consider when you talk about all these caution flags, and that is overtime. A green-white checkered finish. I just talked to Pat Smith, crew chief for Scott Wimmer. He said, oh yeah, we've got fuel to make the finish. Now we're working on getting enough fuel to make a green-white checkered if we have one. And certainly that would be a high possibility today, don't you think?
Well, Alan, you just threw a monkey wrench in the deal. I was hoping you wouldn't say that, but you're absolutely right. That can happen unless we have some more cautions.
Well, you're right. You know, this is going to be interesting here because the last green flag, 29 got a little bit better than a 99 on that start. So we'll see when we go back to green if the 29 can catch that 99.
Well, all this talk on fuel. For more information on fuel, log on to ESPN.com. Your search word is know-how. So the lights are out on the pace car. As we get ready to go back to green flag racing, it'll be the conclusion of our 18th caution. 90 laps have been run under caution. We have 180 in the books.
Evened it up.
That's almost funny. I'm trying to keep from laughing at that number.
I know. It's okay. Here we go. I think. Pace car is off. David Reutimann in front of Scott Wimmer. Mike Bliss, Jamie McMurray, and J.J. Yaley has moved up to 5th. Sun continues to set, and the green flag flies again here at Memphis.
Now, this is the first time, guys, that the 29 car Scott Wimmer's really been up there in a position to battle for the lead. And right now, we have to see how he's doing because this car has been fast throughout the day. And he's really handling good. Sucking right on the bottom of the racetrack, Randy, through both corners, and that's the preferred line.
Absolutely right. But yesterday I watched Mark Green in that 99 car. And boy, these guys got a nice setup for this racetrack.
One guy we can't think about, Marty, either is a 26 car, Jamie McMurray. And this Jack Roush Ford. Kenny Wallace practiced and qualified this car. And it looks like he's got this thing really handling good for Jamie.
Yeah, he's moved it up into the 4th position and is in contention right now. And let's take a look. We've got more problems as another caution flag is out. And
unreal.
Yeah, I think that's about the way to describe it. Unreal is the whole day. Bobby East gets turned around this time. As, with 67 laps to go, we're now up to 19 cautions.
That was just the old Slinky closing up. I was watching that, and there was a bunch of guys, and they went in there, and they just all got together, and the guy in the middle went around.
Well, the Slinky closing up you're talking about, Randy. You get down into turn 3, and they all start checking up. Look at this run, and he's locking the left front brakes up. The 43 car of Bobby East.
He's trying to slow for Franchitti, and then right behind him is Stephen Wallace. Stephen gets into him a little bit because he can't get slowed down. It's that chain reaction, just what you were talking about.
Well, that goes back to what Dario says. Dario says, hey, I'm tight in the center. Did he cause that? He didn't cause it, but he did because he's so tight in the center. The guys behind him had a better run.